If we can recite one more salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. صلى الله وسلم عليك يا أبا عبد الله روحي وأرواح العالمين لك الفداء يا ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. The 9th night of Muharram is upon us, and tonight we remember the look-alike of our Prophet, the Shabih of Rasulullah, the beloved son of Hussein Ali al-Akbar. Our fourth Imam alayhi salam was asked, Yabna Rasulillah, out of all that Hussein lost in Karbala, whose musibah was the most difficult? He said, my brother Ali al-Akbar's musibah was the most difficult for my father. Hussein really loved this son of his. He was so similar to the Prophet, it's as if Allah created him for Karbala so that the people who kill him would see that they are killing their own Prophet. He was like the Prophet, khulqan wa khalqan wa mantiqa. He looked like him. He behaved like him. His gestures were like the Prophet. And when he spoke, his voice was the Prophet's voice. When people would come to Medina, those who never saw the Prophet, and they say, we wish we could have seen Rasulullah, they would say, look at Ali al-Akbar. You see him, you have seen the Prophet. And what a noble young man he was. When Imam al-Hussein was coming towards Karbala, whilst he was on his horse, he said, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And besides him, Ali al-Akbar was riding. He heard his father. He came towards his father and said, Ya Abata, it is true, we come from Allah and we return to Him. But why did you recite this? Imam al-Hussein said that as I was riding, I heard a voice saying, this caravan is going towards death. And immediately Ali al-Akbar says to his father, Ya Abata awalasna ala al-haq. Are we not on the right? And he said, indeed, we are on the right. He said, Idan la nubali. We do not care if death falls upon us or we fall upon death. All the shuhada in Karbala came to Abu Abdullah for permission. This was the sacrifice of Hussein. Abu Abdullah alayhi salam himself said to him, Taqaddam ya bunayya. Go my son and get ready for fight. And he himself dressed him and put an amama on him and kissed him on his forehead and then said, now go and bid farewell to your mother and to Zainab alayhi salam. Zainab alayhi salam had raised Ali al-Akbar like her own son. Some people say that Akbar's mother Layla had passed away. She was not at Karbala. And some say she was there. Zainab alayhi salam was so attached to Ali al-Akbar that when he fell and she threw herself on him, her dress was covered in the blood of Ali al-Akbar. In Kufa and Sham, people would point towards her and say, who is this lady whose dress is covered in blood and whose blood is this? They would say, this is the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen and this is the blood of Ali al-Akbar. Hamid ibn Muslim says that when Ali al-Akbar went into the tent of the women to bid them farewell, he says it was like it was a funeral. It was as if a janaza was leaving the tent. Because he says, I saw that every time the flap of the tent lifted and Ali al-Akbar came out, someone pulled him back in. And every time he came out and said, give me permission, I need to go fight, someone came out and pulled him and said, Ali al-Akbar, let us see Rasulullah one more time. Hussein had to come and bring his son out. ثُمَّ نَظَرَ إِلَىٰ عَلِيٍّ نَظْرَةً آيِسٍ. Then he looked at his son with great despair. And he looked towards the sky and said, Allahumma shhud ala ha'ula'i al-qawm. My Lord, you bear witness over these people. فَقَدْ بَرَزَ إِلَيْهِمْ غُلَامٌ أَشْبَهُ النَّاسِ بِنَبِيِّكَ. I am now sending a young man who is the absolute lookalike of your Prophet. وَكُنَّا إِذَا اشْتَقْنَا إِلَى زِيَارَةِ نَبِيِّكَ. Oh Allah, whenever I longed for ziyarat of your Prophet, I used to look at my son Aliyun al-Akbar. Aliyun al-Akbar gets ready for jihad. He gets on his horse. He comes towards the Maidan. He is a Hashemite prince and a warrior. He begins to recite his rajz. He begins to tell the enemies who he is. He says, Ana Ali ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali. I am Ali, the son of Hussein, the son of Ali. Nahnu wa baytullahi awla bin nabi. We, by the house of God, are more closer to the Prophet than anyone amongst you. Tallahi la yahkumu fi nabn ibn al-da'i. By Allah, we will not be submitted to and subjugated by the son of an unchaste woman. Adribu bis-sayfi uhami an abi. I will strike and fight you today in defense of my father. Darban ghulaman hashimiyyin alawi. Come fight me if you dare and see what a Hashimi warrior has to offer. Umar ibn Saad starts sending one after the other in single combat. We are told Aliyun al-Akbar killed 120 of them. When he had sent 120 to the fire of hell, Umar ibn Saad realized this is not someone we can kill in single combat. He brought out a man, we are told, who was a giant, a great warrior. He said, we will need you to bring this man down. And as the giant stepped into the field, we are told Aba Abdullah al-Hussein called Fidda and said, Oh Fidda, my son is thirsty. He has been fighting for a while. He is now going to face a tremendous giant. Tell his mother to pray for him. But Layla went into prostration in her tent. She put her head down and began calling, Ilahi, Yaman Radda Yusuf ila Yaqub. Oh, you who returned Yusuf to Yaqub, Rudda ilayya waladi. Let my son return once more. The dua of the mother was accepted. Aliyun al-Akbar sent the giant to hell as well. He returned back to his father once more. He came back and said, Baba, did you see my jihad? Hussein looked at him with pride and said, Marhaba ya bunayya, marhaba. Well done, my son, well done. But then Aliyun al-Akbar said, Ya abata, al-atash qad qatalani. Baba, thirst is killing me. Wa thiqlul hadid qad ajhadani. And the weight of this armor is bearing me down. Fahal min shurbatin ilal ma. Baba, is it possible I get a sip of water? Alas for you, O Aba Abdullah. Your whole life you waited that Aliyun al-Akbar should ask me for something. But he never did. And the day he asked you for a sip of water. Hi Gharib Hussain. He removed his ring. He said, Akbar, keep this in your mouth, it will give you some relief. Aliyun al-Akbar bade farewell to his father once more. Hussein said to him, Go, my son Ali. My Jad Rasulullah will quench your thirst now. Aliyun al-Akbar got on his horse once more. The blood of Ali bin Abi Talib raging in him. He began rushing towards the Maidan. Suddenly he heard somebody fall behind. He stopped to look. Hussein was running behind him. He got off from his horse once more. Abata, you just told me to go for jihad. Hussein said, my son Ali, if only you had been Sahib Awlad. If you had a child, you would know what runs through my heart right now. But Aliyun al-Akbar went out to the Maidan once more. He kept fighting for as long as he could. A man called Murra bin Munqidh stood up. He said, may the sins of all the Arabs be on my head if I do not kill this boy. He took a lance and threw it towards Akbar. The spear came flying through the battlefield and pierced the chest of Aliyun al-Akbar. When it pierced him, Aliyun al-Akbar tried to remove it. The shaft broke, but the the blade remained in the chest of Akbar, a man came from behind and struck him with a sword on the head. As blood began pouring profusely on the eyes and face of Akbar, he bent forward towards the horse. He held the horse's neck. The horse was blinded with the blood of Akbar. It ran straight into the enemy's ranks. Everyone pulled out their swords. فَقَطَعُوهُ إِرْبًا إِرْبًا. Everyone began hitting Akbar with their swords. When he fell, he called out, Ya Abata, alayka minni salam. Baba, this is my last salam. I will not return now. Hamid ibn Muslim says, Hussein stood up and began running to the battlefield. I saw him. Sometimes he stood, sometimes he sat, sometimes Hussein stumbled on the sand and fell. He could not see before him. Wa Aliya, where are you, Ali? I cannot see anymore. Hajrukum Allah. Hamid ibn Muslim says, when Hussein got to the body of Akbar, by Allah, we never saw Hussein cry for anyone in the battlefield the way he cried over his son Ali. The enemies were weeping when they saw Hussein crying. Every shaheed, Hussein put their head on his lap, but for Akbar, Hussein did not put his head on his lap. In Kabba alayh, he threw himself on Akbar. فَوَضَعَ خَدَّهُ عَلَى خَدِّهِ. He put one of his cheeks on the cheek of Akbar. Then he said, Bunayya, ad-dunya ba'dakal afa. My son, this world has no meaning now after you. But what did Hussein see? He saw Akbar is writhing in pain. One of his hand is on his chest. Hussein moved the hand away. He saw there is a blade stuck in the chest of Akbar. He asked him, my son, how are you feeling, my Ali? Aliunil Akbar remembered, I asked my Baba for water. He must be still feeling the pain. He couldn't give me water. What did he reply? He said, Baba, Rasulullah is here. He is holding a cup of water. Baba, I will not be thirsty anymore. Rasulullah is saying to you, Ajil ilayna qudumak. Oh Hussein, hasten your return to us. We are waiting for you now. The Arbab of Azaz say, all the arwah of Anbiya were in Karbala. Adam and Nuh were there. Musa and Isa were there. Ibrahim was looking at the sacrifice of Hussein. I would say, oh Nuh, your son was disobedient, but you still cried for him. Ibrahim, you put a band on your eyes when you had to slaughter Ismail. Yaqub, you went blind crying for Yusuf. Come and see the sabr of Hussein. Imam al-Mahdi in Ziyarat Nahiya says, لَقَدْ عَجِبَتْ مِنْ صَبْرِكَ مَلَائِكَةِ السَّمَاوَاتِ. Oh Hussein, the angels were astonished at your sabr on the day of Ashura. But Hussein knelt on the sand of Karbala. He said, my son Ali, bear patience. I will remove the blade. It will give you some relief. When Hussein took hold of the blade, he turned towards Najaf and said, Bismillahi wa billah, Ya Ali. As he pulled the blade out, the soul of Akbar came out with him. Hussein cried, Bunayya, laqad istarahta min hammid dunya wa ghammiha. My son, you have rested now from the sorrows of this world. Wa baqiya abuka wahidan farida. But you have left your Baba all alone now. Sheikh Al-Mufid says, Zainab could not take it anymore. She could not see a father crying on the body of his son. Zainab ran out to the battlefield. She threw herself on the blood-soaked body of Akbar. She cried, Wa Aliya. she would not let go of Akbar. Hussein had to pull her away and send her back to the tent. Then he turned himself to the tent. He called the children of Banu Hashim. Oh children of Banu Hashim, I cannot lift this body. Ihmil akhakum. Come help me carry your brother. Aywa Aliya. Aywa Husayna. Aywa Madluma. Aywa Ghariba. Matame Hussein.
माँ तेरी जुदाई में भला कैसे जिएंगी